Hi, friends. It is Courtney, and you are watching the Forbidden Knowledge Network here. With me tonight is Wednesday, and I'm so excited that you all are with me. Tonight, we are going to be talking about all things energy, getting ready for this new year. We are finally coming to an end with 2022. And who here tonight, if you're with me, raise your hand so you understand what I'm talking about. Who here is ready to close out the year with high vibrational energy, saying thank you for what has been, what you have created, maybe letting go of some of those things that have not served you, and you are ready to move on into this next realm? If you're with me, give me an emoji. Let me know that you understand that feeling and you are ready to jump on board. I see you guys here. Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to start tonight. Let's call on the guides and angels in the way that we do together on Wednesdays, and that I do with every client session, any of that we do. I see my vibes are always high, always giving away energy. It doesn't stop. Thank you. I love that. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, everybody together, take your deep breath in. Big exhale out. And let's call in those guides and angels and let's dive in. So guides and angels on our right, guides and angels on our left, guides and angels in front, and guides and angels in back to balance and harmonize our time here, leaving us in the light and allowing nothing but the highest, the truest, or the best to manifest upon us now. We're going to have lots of conversations tonight about lots of different things, all kind of revolving around resetting our energy. Again, we're kind of wanting to get into the energy of ringing in this new year coming up for us. But we want to talk about selecting our word for this next year. Who of you selected a word last year? I know that I did. Typically, that's been something that I've been doing the last couple of years. And I find that selecting a word for, let's say, setting that intention for this next energy to come is something really helpful. We are going to do that in just a little bit. We're going to also talk about a vision board. We're going to talk about some of those things that are helpful for me that helps kind of get my energy fresh and clear and clean, I would say, for that next energy to come through for the next year. So let's, guys, go ahead and let's start talking about some of those ways that we can embrace our own energy. As I say that, I get a little shaky. I can feel maybe that nervousness about connecting to the energy that's going to be coming in for us this next year. Something that helps me right before, maybe a month before, a couple of weeks sometimes, if I've just been super busy. But right before that new year is, guys, a really, really beautiful time to do some like clearing out. And I don't mean just physically, I mean energetically. And so making sure, guys, that you're giving yourself space, physical space, energetic space, to come back and find yourself right now. Be really working on trying to resonate within your own energy and really sit in that energy of, let's say, I'm losing the word. I almost said complication, not complication. Contemplation, guys. Contemplation of what it is that you have created throughout this last year. Did it serve you? Was it helpful? How are you growing? And really basking in the energy that you helped co-create this last year. I know that for many, it has been, I see a word, fearless. I'm so excited to get in the words, guys. We are going to be diving into that. So let's think about those words, by the way. Somebody says, Astar says, empty your cup. Yes. Maybe going through and cycling back, sitting with that mindset of reviewing, again, the energy that you put forth this last year, and sitting in that space of awareness. And that could also involve, guys, grief. Somebody said it was shit. Yes. Who here had moments that this last year was not easy? I had many moments where I was having to come back to the emotional tools, or those those moments that I had to really dive in deep and, let's say, practice even what I preach, and have faith that it is going to, let's say, get better. But right now I want you all to really sit in your own space of contemplating that journey that you've had, showing gratitude for it, having that grief. I also had family members pass away. Queen of Shades, I'm with you, and I'm so sorry for the losses, guys. We've had many losses this year, and even with those losses, while it might bring up pain and grief and hardship, you learning too that you've got that availability to connect in that energy. I believe that we can't necessarily work through in the hopes and the funny, shiny, shiny, pretty of the want that's going to come in if we can't, in the same breath, really honor the difficult parts as well. And so, in this space that I hope that you create today or within the next couple of days, of sitting in that space of this past year, honoring the hard lessons, the hard losses, but also the beautiful creation, the beautiful connections that you have made with yourself, you moving through things that maybe you haven't, or you might not have realized that you were actually um, well equipped to move through. Those things, did that year, or did that word that you chose last year, did it fit? Was it fitting for you? Did it fall into place? What were those things that you accomplished? What were those energies that you were maybe stepping into? Did you step into new circles? Did you step into new awareness or observations? This is the time right now to sit in this space of, I would say, awe of you seeing that there are connections all around you, and that you are an equal co-creator and participant in this energy. As I say that, guys, we're, yes, talking about ending this 2022 year and coming into this new 2023 year. And I believe that while this is something that many of us talk about coming into the new year, this is something that you can also do at different moments within your time frame. So you don't always have to wait till the end of the year and the beginning of something beautiful to sit in gratitude and contemplation. So I still want to encourage you right now, though, with that meditation, with that prayer, with that quiet space, sit in your space and visualize this experience that you've had this past year with that third party perspective. And guys, I'm going to read through those comments in just a few. I see somebody say, let's see, loving myself completely without judgment or criticism. Yes, right now is the time to start to show yourself, maybe even going through that. Thank you, Queen of Shades. How were you able to show yourself love this year? What maybe did you put into place that was something new that maybe you didn't do the year before? And if you can't even think of what that might have been, this is a beautiful time of having maybe a notebook by your side too that can help you understand what you're wanting to visualize and call to you in this next round of energy coming. Okay. Were there things that maybe fell to the wayside? Were there energies that you thought, you know what, I thought this was going to be the year for that? It wasn't. That's okay. It was a year for other beautiful things coming through. But how can I now take action? What are the actionable steps for me to take this next round? How can I sit in the observation and the excitement of the possible and the manifestation of those things to come in for you? How can you start to co-create what that looks like? She earlier said self-love. That is a beautiful way of starting to incorporate that beautiful energy into you, that self-love and that focusing on your own energy. Are there boundaries right now that maybe you saw could have been set for this last year? Is that something that you're wanting to really bring forth in this next year, this next space for yourself? Also, sitting back, and some of you might really connect with list making. If that's something that is something that helps you feel more organized in your space, I really encourage you to make even a visual list of the things that you're wanting, yes, to accomplish. Now, as I say that, the goal also is to not allow those, let's say, goals to feel as pressure. We want to write them down and be so excited. When I talk about it, I can't even help but smile because we want to be that energy as if it's already here and it's already arrived. Okay. So, how are you wanting to bring something else new into your life? How are you wanting to better your experience? Now, that could be relationship, that could be career, it could be that self work that you're wanting to do. I saw somebody earlier say, I'm going to write a book. What are those things that you're wanting to bring forth in this life experience of yours now? So again, going back and showing gratitude for the growth that you've made this last year, and then making a list and setting that space, setting the stage so that you can start to create that word, to see if that word might even find you while connecting to your own energy. And also, by doing this, to me, it helps us get to a better space so that we're better equipped to really create that, let's call it vision board. We can do that virtually. We can do that in the physical, which is the way that I like to do it. But this list making or this sitting back in reflection of the space that you've been in and the contemplation of the way you know it will be. Now, when I say that, letting go of how, who, what, and when those things are going to arrive for us, but knowing that energetically you're planting the seeds now for those things to be here for you. Guys, I want to encourage you, if you are finding that this is something that you're excited about hearing and hearing about tonight, and you're knowing that you have friends or something that might be empowered by hearing this podcast. I just got chills as I said that. Do me a favor, save this, forward it, share it, do all those things. And of course, follow and subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the Forbidden Knowledge family. Somebody just said vision boards work. Yes, they do. So who here, give me an emoji if you have been somebody who every year creates a vision board. And let's say, maybe if it's not every year, every couple of years, if you have done it, you understand, you see the power, give me an emoji and show me how that has shown up in your life. Let me know if that is something that you have done in the past and you have actually seen how that works for you. I'm a huge believer in those vision boards and getting our space. And when I say space, our energetic space ready to step into that energy. I see lots of emojis coming in. I love it. Somebody here, let's see, just said manifesting inner said, Courtney, I already made a vision board and it's in my room. Should I do another? If you feel as though you want to do another, sure. Let me tell you something that I have done in the past. And this is kind of a fun, to me, it's a fun layering of energy. I have created vision boards and thought later that I wanted to add to them, yet I didn't want to make an entire different board. I layered upon the board that was already there. And so it was like I set the intention and I almost like let it go, if you will. And so I made sure to take a picture of it so that I could reflect on that image later. Excuse me, but I could also refer back to the new layered energy. So I believe that it's also something that can, let's say, grow or evolve with you. Okay. Energy changes. And I think that this is the really cool thing, is that that vision board is specifically yours. Something that I did years ago, I had put some pretty private information down on a vision board and I put it at the very base, like the bottom part of it. I had, very often when you're creating a vision board, you're cutting pieces from magazines or printing images, having pictures. When you create and you find those images, make sure that it evokes a feeling or an energy within you when you see it, that there's also something that it you feel it. Okay, when you feel the things that you're putting on this board, guys, that's really when the magic happens. That's when it's not just a physical representation of the thing and you're putting it on the cardboard or the poster board and you're hanging it up, you're igniting the energy behind it. And so when you're creating this, excuse me, as my nose itches, as you are creating this beautiful board that is such beautiful representation of your own energy, the more that you are in that space of receiving, the more that you are in really beautiful positive energy as you're in the creation of this, the more impactful I'm telling you that vision board will be. Who has had things that they've put on that vision board and it actually falls into place within the year? I have had many clients that have come. I used to teach an in-person vision board thing at the tail end of every year, and we would do that, and it's such a fun thing. I think I'm going to do a virtual one, so if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you get to my website and subscribe to that newsletter, and so that you guys can know when that event will happen. I'll make sure we organize it in the next couple of days. When I had somebody who was really, she came back for her second year the next year after she had been there and had really beautiful success with her board. And she was like, Courtney, she said, I, put the vehicle, I put this, I put that. And, she had she was self-employed, she had a business and she wanted X amount of, clients a year or whatever, and was really wanting to hit her mark. And so there were 3 or 4 major things that she had listed on that vision board. And she went home that year before, showed her husband, and of course he just kind of was like, it's whatever. She placed it in a place of honor. I always suggest, if you don't want it out in your home where other people are privy to it, putting it in your closet when you walk in and you see it, and just when you see it, take a breath in. I always say thank you, thank you, thank you for the awareness that is mine, and nothing but the highest, truest, or the best manifest upon me now. If you listen to this podcast, you will hear me say that all the time. And so that, when I see the vision board, is something that I recite to myself. And so putting that in your closet, you walk in, that's your private space. To me, it's like a cocoon of you, if you will. And that is where she placed this vision board. And she came back that year saying that her husband was so excited when she booked that next year, because every one of those things fell into place, even down to the vehicle. Now, when I say that, guys, it's not necessarily about the physical, like the car or the house or the whatever. Very often it is, but very often it's an energy. Okay. We have goals. We are creative minded people. We are wanting to exude beautiful positivity. So when you're creating your board, think of it in I believe, all areas of your life. Okay. Your personal relationships. So you could have a spot on that board where you're connecting to the way that you want to feel when you're with your person, your partner. And if you have a picture of the two of you that feels really beautifully high vibrational, throw the colors that feel like love to you around it. You can get as specific as you'd like. If you're wanting more children, if you're wanting a business to set sail, you setting the stage by going into that space of appreciation for this energy already being here in your hands is the energy you want to be in when you are creating this space. And that is very specific to each individual. So you can be connecting to, I see somebody said, my relationship is with Jesus. Yeah, when you're creating that board, create that around your connection with your person, Jesus, your faith base, whatever that is. And I do believe that when you're creating that energy in your utmost highest self, in your utmost highest of energies, that energy does come around to us. What's really beautiful is, as we say that sure sounds like fun, doesn't it? I don't personally believe that we create a vision board and that's it. I believe that we must know, like we know, that worth and that energy is something that is already there and present for us. However, we don't always get to sit back and just wait till it happens. I made a vision board. When's it going to be here? Hello. When's it going to be here? That's also not the energy we want to be in. We want to know Also, as we're creating that vision board, keep in mind, what are the actionable steps that I might be able to take to help get me further into that energy, to further into co-creating that reality. There are so many moments. I'm sure you all have them, by the way. There are things that we've all wanted that have come to pass. There are things that maybe we were hoping would come through, and maybe that hasn't quite come through just yet. I am a firm believer that, it happens when it is supposed to. But sitting in that energy and belief that it's coming is something that can really help. There was a moment many years ago before I was doing this work, and actually before I was even, I wasn't doing this work at all. I lived in Phoenix and I was working in property management, and I loved my career in that certain realm of my life. But the company I worked for was selling. I was already meditating, I was already painting, I already was connecting in spirit in my own certain way. And I kept saying out loud to my family, I want to work with like meditation, but with science. I want to work with, spirit and connection, but like grounded science. I wanted a balance within it. And what was crazy was there was a career that ended up coming up, or a job that I kept finding. And I swear the, the ad, or whatever you call it, you know, it was essentially written for me. It was creative. It was amazing. When I found this, information, the job offer or whatever, the ad, I think I sent my resume to them probably 15 times, because that was mine. I was like, I want that job. I want that job. And it was literally like a office manager for this neurofeedback company. And I couldn't get over it. I kept sending, kept sending, kept sending. And finally, after about 2 months, they finally called me. I think they had interviewed a million people and just hadn't found their person. And they wanted to do a quick face-to-face, like meetup, coffee, whatever. And we did. And he immediately was like, oh, okay, you're perfect. And he said, by the way, your resume sucks, but my job experience was perfect. I guess it just wasn't written the way that they had, I guess, hoped it would be, or whatever. And so us having that face-to-face moment together solidified that experience. And I worked for them for many years. And I found the confirmation I also needed with that, the woo woo, if you will, and science. I worked with many world renowned neurologists and quantum physicists and shamans and things around the world. And I also got to see that, of course, this psychic energy can be measured in the brain. And that was something that my own skepticism needed. And so I know, like I know, by me reciting out loud for years, or for quite a while, that I want to work with meditation and science. And I just kept saying it out loud. It was like everything, it was oozing out of me in every realm, that I know that if we can get into the vibration of the thing coming to us. I was really working a lot back then in the energy of like The Secret and manifestation. Yes, somebody says quantum physics. Yes, I love quantum physics. And so when we get into that space, guys, there's so many cool things that are actually possible. We just sometimes have to get out of our way. And when I say that, you've heard me say this before, it doesn't mean that hard things don't happen. It just means that we're able to understand that those hard things are happening so that we can move through, know that we're strong enough to move through them, heal through them, not deny them, and get back into the swing of the beautiful co-creation with the universe. All that being said, now, guys, is the time to really be in the energy of you. Sit in the energy of what it is you're wanting to bring into your life experience here on earth. Think of it, feel it. What does it feel like? You know me, I work in color. What is that color that emanates around every one of those subjects? So relationship, what is the color you feel? So associating the verbiage of I want my relationship to look like this. I'm wanting to even break free from certain relationships, or I'm wanting to um, I'm wanting to create boundaries with the world around me. Tony says feeling is the secret. It really is. It really truly is. And so when you put the energy out there, I'm telling you that everything is possible. Everything. I saw somebody just write, I want to write a book, or I want to be an author. A page a day. That's what it takes. A page a day. Write a page a day, and you will be amazed. Oh my gosh, that you were able to do it. Okay. So again, sitting back, wishful thinking, creating, coloring, making a board is amazing. Putting that energy into it is amazing. Feeling the energy is amazing. But also simultaneously creating actionable steps for yourself. If this is what I want, what is the energy I also must work at like obtaining or being in if I'm wanting this? Another beautiful thing is understanding that a lot of this is self-work, by the way. So if we're wanting, that better relationship, or we're wanting a certain type of a partner, very often we must rise in the energy within ourselves so that that energy matches, because like does typically attract like, does it not? Right? And so making sure that we're all working on our own awareness, our own behaviors, our own patterns, and what it is that maybe we need to do to shift our energy. Are we uncomfortable in our bodies? Are we solid in the way that we feel? Is there something that we need to do to get up and take action, even physically? If so, that is also really beautiful right now to step into, maybe take ownership of. Also, making yourself the priority. So making yourself the priority and showing up for yourself in the way that you need to maybe better have that space so that you can show self-care is, again, really wonderful. Another really beautiful thing is right now is a great time to be clearing your energy in the home physically. So that could be, I say it, I want to take a breath. Clearing out clutter, clearing out the drawers. I have a lot of that I feel like I need to do right now. Don't take a lot of this on as pressure. None of this has to be done immediately, by the way. You've got a little bit of time. And for me, I always feel as though I give myself a little bit of time into the end of December, into January, probably mid-January, even if it's the end of January and I'm still decluttering, or if I'm still kind of working through things in my own space. I do believe that can still be really beautifully helpful. I don't feel like there is a massive timeline that you've got to get this done before January 1st. I don't believe that. And so I do feel like going through that closet, if it's something that you don't love, my dear friend Sandy Sue, who does the feng shui, she has been on this podcast just a couple of weeks ago. She's amazing, and she will be with us again, helping us know where to be as far as feng shui, the home, and to better ring in this new year in the Chinese calendar in February. So she'll be back with us in January or February. But she would say that if you don't love it, your clothing, the things in your home, if you don't walk in and feel it and see it, that's a really beautiful way of, somebody says, burn everything. That's a really great way of, getting it out of the home. If it's something that is just sitting there, taking up space, think of what is just within your subconscious, almost sitting there, just taking up space. Okay, take a breath with me. When I have clutter, I know that I'm way busy. I'm not giving myself space to slow down and take care of myself. So really look at your external world in your home and, see if there's something you can shift in that realm as well. That is another really beautiful, helpful tip to help you clear and reset your energy while moving into this next year. So as we go there, guys, again, I want to say that vision board, go ahead and start creating it. Those of you who have done it, I'm so excited for you. If you feel as though you want to add to it, awesome. If you want to make that list of actionable steps, that is amazing. I'm going to start mine probably this next week, and get really excited about fine tuning those dreams, those wants, those excitements on the, again, those actionable steps of what I can do to start showing up for myself to help push that beautiful energy along into the way that I want them to go. Okay. What is your word? How many of you guys have your word for the year for 2023? What is that for you? If you've got it, please let me start hearing, or let me start seeing those beautiful words in the comments here with me. Many people have stopped setting resolutions. That was a big year, hello, or big thing most of my life, right? People were saying, I want to lose this weight. I want to do this. I want to do that. And typically, some of those resolutions felt very much like pressure. I see Tamara says enrichment. That's a beautiful word. And hi, Tamara. I'm so happy you're here with us tonight. I see compassion. I see presence. I love that. I believe my word is focus. So this year I can get very busy and have so many different things going on. Okay. And so for me, my word would be focus for this year, having that beautiful grounded focus for the things that I'm wanting to put forth in every realm. Okay. And so I see growth. Yes. Health, all of those things. And somebody said sage is important. I love that. Yes. So even, saging your home, clearing your home up, that's a really great thing. Thank you. I was not even going to talk about that tonight. So I appreciate you saying that there in the comments. So saging and clearing your home, using that sage to push through all of the energy that's no longer serving you, and even bringing through the Palo Santo on the end of that to really enhance what it is you're wanting to attract into your life. That's a really beautiful thing to do. And so I see that health is the focus. Yep. I love it. Move, wealth, rise above. Yes. All of those things are so wonderful. So having a word that you can breathe in and show gratitude for. You guys have heard me say it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the awareness that is mine. Thank you to that focus, or to your own words, for being the teacher on your path, and emanating that energy of that word within your bubble, within your space. And then I also envision then sending that energy out into the world around you, around us. When you can be in that space, sometimes I think people feel a little less pressure when they're simply just creating the word. And when I say this, guys, some of you might really resist the idea of creating a vision board. And guess what? It just might not be your thing. Having one word might be the thing for you to help clear and reset and come back to your intention, that clear, beautiful intention that you're wanting to set for you. Tony says more love. I love that. Mr. FBTE says fasting from unnecessary habits that is counterproductive. Yes. Adelia says security, confidence, and healing. I love that. Having that, even if you're wanting to put that word, say, take a picture and an image, and put it as your screensaver on your phone, or say putting that on your mirror in your bathroom. That is something I think is a really beautiful thing. But I don't want you to become numb to the word. When you see the word, allow yourself to make a conscious connection. When you see, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Evoking the breath, which takes it from the flat, just awareness of it, into the connective energy in and expression out, that you're infusing it into your own being, your own expression and experience, and putting that into your life and your space around you. Katrina says flow. Yes. Evolving, connection. I see self-love is our first love. Yes, I love that. One of those things, guys, one of those different ways of setting that intention is really wonderful. Now, if we do all of those things, to me, that's pretty darn powerful. I want you to think about something this past year, whether it's something you've overcome or something you're really proud of. think about that. Take a moment real quick and just showing yourself grace. Ooh, I just got the chills when I said that. Showing yourself grace for seeing how strong you are, how you witnessing the growth within yourself in that arena, in that space, looking back and you giving yourself almost that space of gratitude, setting that into the energy of that self love and that appreciation is something I also believe can be very, very beautiful. Um, Alexandria says, embrace your dark side and transmute, self heal, self love, self care. Yes. Again, somebody earlier was talking about loss. They had lost their brother. And again, I'm so sorry that you lost your brother. Many of us have had many losses this last year, as well as years before, and that will continue on. What I believe is that as we move through the evolution of ourselves, those things don't hurt any less. But we can gain power in connection of our own energy and know that our loved ones can still be there along for the ride, if you will. They can still see us evolve and move through. Yeah. And so I want you to give space for yourself and show again grace for the things that you've moved through this year that felt like maybe was something you thought you were not able to get through. And look at you, you've done that. You've done it. And by the way, those tears are powerful. They are. I tell most clients when I have private sessions Tuesday through Friday here in my home and virtually. And I see people who are so afraid to cry and so afraid to show that emotion because they're so afraid that because it hurts or it is painful that it will take them over. And I'm telling you guys that those emotions, when felt, are so beautifully powerful. And what you'll find is when you stop numbing that pain and the emotional pain, you will, once it is felt, start to transcend it and really start to move into the energy that you are meant to move into. You will evolve within yourself. That is the entire point of us looking back and showing gratitude for those things that we thought we would not be able to move through. And so I want you to be really proud of yourself and come back to this. Take a breath with me. Big exhale out. This year, what is it that you can do to step in to your own healing? And if that means that there's more healing, what can you do to find more love, more connection? Is that feeling it more? Is it allowing yourself space to feel that? Allowing yourself space to heal that emotion and that energy in motion. Thank you. Something that helps me, guys, and we have talked about it here, but we're all different people. We're all different, individuals, and so what works for one might not work for the other. But for me, when I'm having big feelings, big energy, and I'm almost even wanting to ignore them sometimes, being creative helps it find an outlet. And so for me, I paint almost all day long, right? Almost every day. And so having that energy is a really beautiful thing for us to find the thing that helps us move through the energy. Yes, Alexandria says clearing all trauma. Yes, it is vital for connection. It's also vital for us finding peace within our connection to not just our loved ones on the other side, but our guides and angels as well. And so once we're able to do that and put that emotion and that feeling, also that could be working out, that could be singing, it could be dancing, however it is that you feel that energy, and it could be building things. If you feel as though there's anger still in you and you're wanting to move that anger and you don't know how to move that through, maybe your intention this next year is to start running, or maybe they have those beautiful breaking rooms or something like that where you can just go and just pound things, break things. That is beautiful. That is productive. And so if you're sitting and you're feeling as though you're frozen in that trauma or that work, and you can't quite even get into the mindset of what life would look like if it was beautiful. What would life look like if you had all of the possible choices that were there for you? What would that be? If you can't even get there yet, it's time to, yes, process that trauma. It's time to process those energies. And to me, you've heard me say this before, we cannot fully know the light without fully knowing the dark. And so the way that I lead, the way that I teach is that it is both so important to make sure that we are balanced individuals. We are working on the inside, as well as understanding that we can feel and be excited about what is to come and what we are helping, again, co-create on the outside. Ruth says, release it through speaking out loudly and be honest with yourself. Yes. Audio Ron says, I get no empathy from a woman. Let's see here that I made 2 babies with. They are 3 and 2. Audio Ron, I'm sending you my energy, my friend. Those relationships, it's interesting. So who this last year had to start making beautiful boundaries with people that are going to be in their life forever, but it's their difficult relationships, right? We've all had them. We're all grown-ups here. We've all had them. You learning, us learning to give other people their own space and us finding our own energy within. Yep, audio says drained a lot of energy. So us coming back into our own bubble of protection, our bubble of light, our bubble of knowing. That's what we're doing, guys, when I'm saying to sit in that space of you right now. Breathing in your energy and sending out whatever is not of your highest, your truest, and your best. When you're here in your space, guys, and we're not taught that. We are not taught, first of all, that we have any space. We're not taught to be in our own energy. We're not to infuse that beautiful energy with good, beautiful awareness, good, beautiful healing, good, beautiful knowing. But when we can sit in that space, take a breath with me, we can understand that within that space, that is where we become one with the light, one with source, one with creation. And when we are there, that is when I believe, you all might believe differently, and that's perfectly okay. But in that space, that is where those words of the year come. That is where that feeling and that energy and that manifestation, when you're in that beautiful bubble of you, that is where you want to be when you start to co-create with the universe. And when you are here, you will set boundaries with the energy that no longer serves you. And sometimes it is like those relationships that you were speaking of, my friend. And again, many of us have done that, and many of us have to continue to keep resetting that boundary, because that space that you're creating, this life that you're wanting to manifest, is so important. I breathe in these podcasts. You see me breathing constantly. I do it throughout my life. I do it in terms of my sessions, all of it. And that breath helps me come back to my own bubble, my own light. And we should be taught that that is our energetic, almost safety space. Yes, audio Ron, I see that emoji. Yes, breathing. Come back to that space. And guys, that tonight, I hope is what you're hearing, is that in that space, you get to decide what this space looks like. This is what you're co-creating in here, okay? You are coming back into your space so you can decide what this space is going to feel like. Do you want it filled with love and heart? If you do, you must become love and heart. If you want success and the abundant flow of wealth and money, and when I say wealth, that's health, love, happiness. When you're in that space, what can you do? Those, again, actionable steps that you can help take responsibility and accountability of the energy that you bring to this life. Okay? Are we so hyper focused on the lack or the stress of what's happening, right? And we all have our moments. We're all human. We're here to have those moments and those feelings, but we're also here to stop when we see ourselves doing that thing that we do, or that stress, or stay in it and wallow in what's not here right now. I want you to stop, take the breath in, and remind yourself of your word. Remind yourself of, oh my gosh, how far you've come. Because it's only going to go up from here if you're setting the stage and the intention. My dear friend, we were going over, she does something that's called resonance repatterning. Sandy Sue, my feng shui master, dear friend, she is the one that does the resonance repatterning as well. And she was doing something like that for me. And she came to a phrase that had come up during that process. And I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was essentially saying that my energy was that where if people were watching or viewing me and my energy, it is that they would not be able to tell if I was working or if I was playing. And when she said it, I smiled. And I smiled because that is exactly what I know I have created. And it wasn't always such. It wasn't always that I wasn't always in that space of knowing that I was there. Does that make sense to you? So I want you to understand that even though you might not know exactly how you're going to get there, you setting the tone for that bubble, you setting the tone for your energy, you setting the tone for what you're really wanting in this big life of yours, it is yours, and you get to decide what energy um, to obtain, to resonate with. So if you're around people also, this is really important, and I see lots of questions. I'm going to come through and scroll through them in just a moment, everybody. I want you to really watch your surroundings. Take a breath. Are you participating, and I mean in books, in content? Are you reading energy that feels as though you're learning? And I mean, are you reading stuff that feels like good energy? Are you watching things that feel like it's empowering you, or you're learning something that feels like it's advancing you in this space of life? And I ask you that question about your beautiful friends too that are around you. Hi, Bobby, I see you, my dear. Are you surrounding yourself with people who are like making stuff happen? And what I mean by that is making stuff happen, their own goals. Your people should be so beautifully proud of you. Proud of when you're in pain, how you're honest and you're moving through it. Proud when they see you moving through and excelling. Proud when they see you taking steps that, wow, you were also so excited that you were even able to make. Okay. Um, are they rooting you on? Are they supporting you? If you're noticing that the people around you are like this, that they're not supporting, guys, it's time to lovingly go to the next level. We might be outgrowing the circles if you're noticing things like that in your surrounding. And so I say that within, sure, your workspace, the people closest to you, and if they're not, it's time to set beautiful boundaries. And when I say that, are you also showing up for the people in your life? Are you finding that you're excited about the things that they're doing, the opportunities that they're getting? Or are you like feeling like, oh man, I wish that was me? If you're feeling that way, it's time for you to take it into your own hands. Be excited for them, but know that there's something you've got to add to the energy in your own life. We have to be responsible and take accountability for what is. We're all given things that are hard, and we're all given things that come up here and there that we must work through, we must heal through, and that's not always easy. I understand. However, this is your experience here. You get to decide here what your experience is going to be. Truth Bites says the system has us at each other's throats. That is the way it would like to have us. You are correct, and I agree with you. Take a breath. When I read that, I believe that as well. But when I read it and I say that, it feels like such truth. I stop, I connect back to my energy, my knowing, and I move that out of my bubble. That doesn't have to, even though I agree, I get it, that energy doesn't have to be in my space and my bubble. And so watch that. If you hear something that doesn't feel like truth to you, you see my face, stop, take a breath in. When I do that on the pause, I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you for the awareness that is mine. I'm in my space. I'm asking that nothing but the highest, truest, or the best manifest upon me now. And we must know, like we know, like we know, that we are the ones that get to show up here. And we are the ones to get to say that this is the energy that I will attune to, even when life's situations show up for us. And what might look like failure to somebody, guys, usually when it starts to look like something's not really working out for us, it's actually working out better than we could ever possibly imagine. Now is the time to really look at our energy and take, Truth Bite says, I feel change is coming. Yes, it is. Now it's time for us to take complete control, and not psychotic, crazy control, but we must take great awareness of the energy we are bringing to the table. And when we focus on that, when the inside changes and the inside of our energy grows, when that internal energy starts to match that nothing but the highest, the truest, or the best energy, guess what, guys? Life starts to match as well. Okay? Get really good right now at sitting back and giving yourself space to have that contemplation. I'm not trying to get that word wrong all night long. Sit in that contemplation and that gratitude, because you're here, we're here for a reason. And so if anything that is showing up on the outside of us, it's because there's some sort of an internal experience or awareness that we need to learn. Again, that's difficult, that's not easy. But ask yourself, what do you need to do? What can you bring to the table that will help the energy to its fullest? And so tonight, I hope that you understand that now again is a beautiful time, always is a beautiful time. You don't have to wait until the end of December. You can do this in March, you can do this in June, you can do this in November. It doesn't really matter to me. But now's a really beautiful time, guys, to set the stage for the clearing of what no longer serves you, for the appreciation of, again, how far you've come this year. Whew, I don't know about you, I've come a long way this year. There's been lots of things coming up in my life, personal life too, lots of losses, all of the things. But oh my gosh, I moved through them quicker and more lovingly than I had in the past. And guys, that we should be excited about. So think of that word. And when you think of your word, I hope that you share that with me. I would love to hear your words, whether that's sharing it here on this video, sharing it below, even after we're done, or coming to my social media pages or tagging me in your post. I would love to hear what your word is. Mine, again, is focus. I want to be a little more streamlined and focused into the few directions that I really want to be growing. And I hope that you support me in that. I really would love to support you in yours. Yes, love is key. Sherry says self-forgiveness. Yes, I'm going to scroll through some of these beautiful comments here. And so I'm so grateful, guys, again, for you being here. I want to tell you, too, that, again, I will have, if you all want it, I'll do a virtual workshop on vision boards. Those are always so much fun. I used to do them in person all the time, and I need to go ahead and start one. My family is wanting to make them, and I would love to include you guys in that if you are interested. So if you give me thumbs up right now down below, or start to give me some emojis, I will make sure that I will get that scheduled on the events calendar on my website. Let me see if I can throw that up there for you. Nope, I cannot. But I'll throw up the inner circle one. It is CourtneyCaneSides.com. You can at least see that website there. And so if you go there and make sure you are subscribed on that website, I will make sure that I throw something up there on an evening so you all can join and we can do that together. That would be so much fun. Yeah, lots of thumbs up. So I'll go ahead and get that scheduled. All right, guys, let's see. There were more questions. They're all kind of up in the feed now. Nona says, had to ground my coworkers to try to limit the negative energy in my workspace, seeking positive energy. It is so fun to start to bring more positive energy into those workspaces. There are so many different ways that we can do that. If your employer is that, if that's a space that you cannot sage, getting sage spray or doing many different little things like that can help you maybe lift the energy there. Also cutting cords with some of those coworkers. I have some clients here who they have great experience with doing that even before they go into the office, and cutting those cords with those coworkers, sometimes in the most loving way. You're not mean when you're doing it. You're just setting the tone for them to have their energy and you to take yours fully back. When you do that, that tug and pull sometimes that happens in the workplace typically will dissipate. It might take a little bit of time for that to happen, but it will. It's pretty cool when it does happen. Yes. All right, guys. Well, I so appreciate you all being here. Again, guys, listen, now's the time. Vision board, feeling the energy, getting that list of the actionable steps that you can take. Make sure you're beautifully aware. Also, do not feel any of this as pressure. This is going to be a beautiful time for you to, again, get into the energy of co-creating the life of yours that you're really wanting to put out into this existence. And you get to decide how that energy is going to be. And so we must, again, become the energy. So us working on our own space, giving us that time frame to be within our bubble and infuse that bubble with ourselves. Guys, if we don't like ourselves, if we are not fully in love with us, how in the world can the world show up for us and love us fully? So self-love, self-care, it is time for you to get out of your way, start clearing out the clutter if you need to, so that your mind, your space, your energy can feel more free and ready to take on the dreams and the wants that you're wanting to bring into your life. Now is the time. I love you guys. Join me on, of course, that VIP Inner Circle is always there. Many of you have joined, and it is so much fun. We meet twice a month on the first and the third Thursday of every month for an hour and a half live. We talk about so many different topics. We dive in deep. It's a very sweet, intimate group right now, and of course you guys are invited. It is $11.11 a month, and of course I have my own personal private YouTube page. You are please more than welcome to run over there, subscribe as well. New content will be soon being put out there as well, and of course all the social media pages. I'm all over all of it. Your words, please do me a favor, tag me, share it with me. I would love to hear what your words are for the year. Again, mine is focus. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Have a beautiful new year. You guys have got this. You can do it.